Tech65, and today we are here at the Motorola Solutions Developer Conference in Kuala Lumpur, and they are pretty much showing the Motorola ET1 tablet, Enterprise Tablet. And today we have here Cecilia from Motorola to tell us more about this tablet device. So Cecilia, can you go through with me the hardware and the software of this device itself?
Okay, the ET1 Enterprise Tablet comes with a 7-inch display. The resolution is 1024 by 600. The brightness is 315 nits itself. So it's made of Corning Gorilla Glass, and it's about 30% thicker and tougher than the normal Gorilla Glass out there. So if you look at the device now, we see a front camera over here for video conferencing. There's also a mic for you to perform, again, the video conferencing portion. There's a rear camera here, which is 8 megapixel. And this rear camera actually also do barcode scanning. Okay, turning back again, we have a proprietary port for charging of the battery. We have here a micro HDMI cable, HDMI connector, and then over here is a headset connector. Okay, we do have 2 speakers at the back for output of voice. And if you look at the device itself, there are actually a few buttons that are actually customizable. So there are 3 buttons over in front and 2 trigger buttons at the back that we can customize. Later on, I'll show you how we can do that via the software. So the USB port, there's actually a USB host and client port over here. Okay, this whole part itself is actually what we call accessory module that's customizable. So end users can choose to have the standard USB port, or they can actually customize it with a scanner imager, or for example, a MSR, or what we call a magnetic strip reader. Okay, so again, customizable and optional. There's actually a hand strap that you can actually integrate with the device. So this hand strap is rotatable. We can actually turn it 360 degrees. So it's easier for you to interact with your customers when you're using the device. Okay. Beyond that, if you look at this is actually a battery latch. Okay, the battery itself is hot-swappable, so you can change it out. You can actually turn this device into a suspense mode before you get the battery out of the. So the ET1 Enterprise Tablet comes with an IP54 sealing standard. What it means is it's actually sealed against water, and thus making this a very viable device in a very ruggedized environment or stringent environment. Okay, we also tested this device under a very stringent environment. So what we did was we did a 4-feet drop test on every single device that we shipped. And if you look at the screen itself, there's actually a slight recess on the screen, which means even if you accidentally drop it onto the floor, the display will never hit the floor directly, making this screen not susceptible to any of the drops that you have. Okay, the device also comes with a 3 years life cycle, longer than the usual consumer devices. And upon the end of life of this device, we also provide another 3 years of service support, meaning an enterprise customer will be able to use this device for at least 6 years.
So let's get into the software of the ET1, Motorola ET1 Enterprise Tablet. So can you take us a look, show us some of the customizations they have done? First of all, this is an Android 2.3.4.
All right. The reason why we have chosen Android 2.3.4 as the operating system is because it's actually open source, and we can actually add on all the enterprise capabilities on top of it. Okay, on top of that, we also support data encryption. We do have a 256-bit data encryption on the device, so that will help us to ensure that your data transaction is always secure. Okay, if we take a look inside, what we also support, we do have what we call an MSP agent that help us to do remote management of the device. The other feature that we supported is what we call a remote wipe. So that helps the company to secure the information that they have on the device itself. Okay, let me just show you how you can actually customize buttons and triggers. So if you do a normal settings, just like what you do on a normal Android device, under the setting itself, we do have an option inside the application menu. And you will have this particular option called Button Remap Program. When I go inside the Button Remote Program, I am able to customize the left and right trigger as well as the 3 buttons in front. So, okay, we also have what we call the RhoElements, which is a new application development framework that we also announced today. So using RhoElements, you are able to develop an HTML5 application that run across devices, different devices and different OSs. So maybe what I can do is to show you an application that's written in the RhoElement environment that showcase some of the features of this particular device. For example, let me just start up the application here. Okay, so these are some of the key features or example of the features that we can support on this device itself. So for example, number 1, signature capture. I can actually do a signature. I can actually sign my name on this device and it will capture my signature for example, for mobile payment purposes, or even, let's say, for example, when I'm receiving a parcel. So instead of having to print out a receipt, print out an invoice, for example, now you can actually sign on screen. So that's one of the features we can actually do on this device itself. Okay, like what I mentioned earlier on, we are able to do barcode scanning using the camera on this device. So let me just show you how you can actually do that. So just press the scan button, open up the camera screen, and let's try to scan Justin's card over here. So bingo, within 1 second, you're able to scan all the information that's encoded in the 2D barcode over at the card itself. We recognize that an enterprise can actually have multiple devices running different OSs. For example, in this instance, ET1 is actually on what we call an enhanced Android platform. And if we look at, for example, another device, it could be running a CE-based OS, it could be running a Microsoft Windows Mobile OS. That means the IT department or their application developers will have to create multiple applications and support multiple applications. That means resources, it means cost, it means time. So what RhoElements can do is, it's actually an OS agnostic application development platform. It cuts across multiple type of devices, form factors, as well as different OSs. So essentially, an application developer or IT department will just need to develop a set of application once, and it can actually run across multiple devices in different OSs.
All right, so I guess this enterprise tablet is actually very focused on really the retail and whatnot. So I think in future, Motorola will be able to create accessories to, or third party to actually create accessories to plug in over here for the ports here to, for example, like the Mac Swipe device accessory, which I think it's planned in the Motorola roadmap, right? Hopefully it's going to be released next year, sometime next year, together with this device. So this is the Motorola ET1 Enterprise Tablet. It's going to be available before the end of the year. Hopefully, I don't know when, but hopefully it's going to be available before the end of the year for enterprise retailers, hospitals, restaurants and whatnot. So yeah, and of course, together with that, having RhoElements to help you, assist you in creating your applications for enterprise software, or rather this Enterprise ET1 tablet. And this is Justin. Thank you very much for watching.